guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host Ryan, hanging out with you guys tonight. Well guys, we're going to be doing something a little bit different here on the Plastic Planet for this Friday's drop, or this Friday's video upload. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys a full room tour of my non-Star Wars, oh there is a little Star Wars down here, my non-Star Wars toy room. I've called this room a couple different things over the years. I used to call it my archive room when I just had storage down here, and it was things I didn't have displayed up when I considered my main gallery or whatever. I was trying to sound all hoity-toity about my collection back then, but I've called it my archive room. I've called it my arcade room because I do keep my arcade one-ups down here, as well as all of my modern gaming systems. And I've called it a couple different things. But anyway, basically, it's my toy room. It's where I keep my Transformers collection. It's where I keep my Star Trek collection. It's where I keep my Superman collection. It's where I keep my dinosaur collection, or most of, at least my Jurassic World, Jurassic Park IP dinosaur collection. Anyway, so it's kind of that area of my overall collection. And that's what I'm going to be showing off to you guys tonight. Now, the reason I haven't done an upload like this in a long time, I think it's been 6-7 years since I've actually done a full room tour of this area. I've given you guys little tastes of it here and there, but I've never done a full room tour. I've never felt completely comfortable showing it off because it's always kind of, some area of the room is always completely fucked up. That's just because I live down here. I don't live all the time down here, but I live down here a lot. I work down here. These monitors behind me are for my day job. I do edit the channel down here. Occasionally I get my fat ass and I work out down here, and I game down here as well. So I mean, this room sees a lot of activity, and so it's always a bit torn up, and so the perfectionist in me never wants to show it off. Well, tonight, perfectionism be damn, I'm gonna show it off. So you might see some dust, you might see some spider webs down here. I've had black widows down here before. They might be back, I don't know. Someday I'll find out, probably the hard way. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, let's get on it, guys. I'm going to show you guys this whole room, and brevity is going to be the key. I'm not going to vocally call out every single thing in here, just things that kind of catch my eye, or things I haven't talked about on the channel or even shown off on the channel before. I might spend a little more time on versus things that you've seen a bunch. So anyway, all right, guys, like I said, let's get on it. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Standing up here in the doorway coming downstairs into my toy room, my overall non-Star Wars toy room with a Star Wars poster behind here. But anyway, and this is the last time you're going to see my face in the video. Well, maybe in the end, but this is the last time for a while you're going to see my face in the video. But anyway, turning around here, you guys can see this is my Star Wars room. And so we're just going to shut the door. It's kind of messy in there too, speak of the devil. But it's kind of messy in there, so we're just going to shut the door, and I'm going to show you guys this room off to the best of my abilities. Now, starting off in the hallway here, I've just got, you're going to see a lot of different movie posters, just really, really cool shit. And again, I'm not going to go into the weeds on every single thing. There's some reaction figures from Super 7, some Transformers love there. There's some cool tins. I got tin posters. I got Hobby Lobby. There's a Superman 3 original album, long play record in there. That's really, really rad. I got some Diamond Select Star Trek figures up here, if you guys can see those. Again, I'm kind of a short guy, so, you know, I'm kind of short. Got a John Elway Pop, RoboCop 2 poster. I think I showed that already. But yeah, there's the old banner for my YouTube channel, Knickknacks Plastic Planet. I retired that about a year or two ago. But yeah, it's still up. And then I got some cool art up here. I've got Fire and Ice, great freaking animation movie, you know, Sword and Sandals animation movie from the early 80s, very Frank Franzetta inspired. Good stuff. Land That Time Forgot, if you're a MST3K fan, you know. I love that movie. I got a Atari 2600, a non-working Atari 2600 that I bought deliberately as a non-working Atari 2600 to put on my ceiling because I just thought that would be kind of cool. I've got a old school cutout there alongside my Space Invaders, which is still sealed. I got a TV cutout up there. And I got one of my very favorite NES games, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Found that on the internet. It's just a little tin sign. I thought that was cool. I cut out all of the packaging to most of all my NECA Godzilla figures. You'll see those later, but there they are. I got the 2025 Superman poster, movie poster up there. I really love that movie. You're going to see more of that here. Got some reaction Beavis and Butthead figures looking really cool. You're going to see more Beavis and Butthead as well. Got Mickey Mouse as Indiana Jones. Got a gaming pixelized Rocky from Rocky 4 with my James Bond pop. That's, of course, not Timothy Dalton. Come on, Ryan. That's my very favorite James Bond 007. That's Roger Moore, of course. Yeah, he's my favorite James Bond. I love him. Sort of a controversial choice, but that's you like what you like. I got a Soundwave tin over there. Got this really, really cool Star Trek artwork here. And speaking of Roger Moore, there's a Moonraker movie poster. Not a great James Bond movie, but that's just, the camp is so awesome. I love it. Some more Star Trek art there. Some more Star Trek art over here. I love this. I got this for 20 bucks at Hobby Lobby, maybe 10, 15 years ago. It's a huge picture, and it's really, really nice. I got some more reaction figures here on the wall, going down the stairs here. I think a Dead Optimus Prime, again, Super 7 love here. Transformers the movie, one of my all-time favorite animated film. More Beavis and Butthead love. Love me some Beavis and Butthead. Those are also reaction figures. Again, you're going to see more Beavis and Butthead. Denver Broncos love. I live in the Mile High City, so they're my team. You're going to see more Denver Broncos stuff. If you're not a fan, I'm sorry. I got some cool Alvin and the Chipmunk stuff that I got in my childhood at a company picnic of my dad's as like a prize. Along with my old school Godzilla there, got him in the 80s, and my Garfield and Odie small plush figures, got them in the 80s as well, next to a classic dinosaur that I got later on. Hey guys, moving away from the stairway there, I got this nice partition here with some of my very favorite sports teams on them. And then coming over here, yeah, we got my Superman section. I want to spend a tiny bit of time on this one. I'm going to go shelf to shelf, but I'm going to be pretty quick about it. But yeah, I love me some Superman. Basically, this is Superman, some of his enemies, and some of his friends, all in one little section of my room here. So yeah, let's take a look at that right now. Top down there, I've got a Superman Halloween costume or Halloween costume kit that I got at Spirit Halloween store. It's obviously a reproduction of a vintage one, but I picked that up at a Spirit Halloween store during the Halloween season a couple years ago. And then I've got right in front of it there, I've got a McFarlane Superman 2025 Superman punching out that kaiju, and that was the Spin Master kaiju that came with the slime and shit. Did a full review on that on the channel last summer. But yeah, I got that on the top there. Coming down, I've got my Dark Side. That is like a classic. I think that might be a New 52 Dark Side. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, there's a lot of reflection here. I think that's a New 52 Dark Side, but I'm not sure. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Yeah, he's pretty damn awesome. That's a DC Direct figure. And then I've got another, this is the non-battle damaged 2025 Superman from McFarlane. Got a NECA Superman there, picked up at Target. Got my Hot Toys Henry Cavill Superman. That's the BVS Henry Cavill Hot Toys Superman, looking pretty badass there. I've got another, I think that's I don't remember who made that one. Mattel maybe. It's a semi-large scale. I think that might actually be Jack Specific. That semi-large scale Superman back there. Got really, really cool DC Direct Superman and Lois statue there. That was really, really one of my highlights in my collection. Up until this last year when it's kind of got relegated to being out here on the top. But yeah, they got the Daily Planet as a base, which is really, really damn cool. And then we come down here, we got Mr. Terrific there. That is a McFarlane figure from this year, 2025 Superman. Got a Silver Age Superman. I think that's a Silver Age Superman. Looking cool there. Again, another McFarlane figure. Got yet another 2025 Superman. This one came with Crypto there, chilling out there next to the Superman AMC Theaters popcorn bucket, which of course is a Daily Planet newsstand, which is very, very cool. And then up above that, and I actually had to eBay this guy because I don't have a Cinemark movie theater in my area. At least not one that's in my flight path. I got the Cinemark popcorn bucket, which of course Crypto with a popcorn bag in his mouth, which is really, really fun. As you guys can see, I really like Superman 2025. I really dug that movie a lot. But yeah, there's sort of the top of my detolfs there. It's just a nice blend of a lot of different versions of Superman from over the years. But yeah, looking really cool. Hey guys, the detolf all the way open here. Let's check out the first shelf. And, where else would we start with a Superman collection? But, of course, my Christopher Reeve shelf, my 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman the movie shelf. And on that shelf, where else would we start but with the Hot Toys figure, the Christopher Reeve Superman Hot Toys figure, which came out a number of years ago, but it still holds up just incredibly. This was probably the first Hot Toys figure I ever bought. And it still might be my very favorite Hot Toys figure I still own, even though I own, well over 100 now. Hot Toys figures, that is. And most of those are Star Wars figures, but this guy still might be my favorite. He's got some stiff competition now, but he might still be my favorite. Absolutely love that Kryptonian base he's on. You know, very, very inspired from Donner's vision of what Krypton looked like from 1978. So awesome. Then, of course, I've got some awesome collector glassware in there. Close to the entire set of Superman the movie glassware. I don't want to get out and show them to you individually, but yeah, they're really awesome. You just got to take my word for it. I think I am missing one, but I'm not sure. And I don't remember what franchise put those out. I'll kind of manhandle one of them here. I think it was just put out. Oh, they're just put out by PepsiCo, I guess. But yeah, they are really, really cool. So yeah, those are just amazing. Yeah, looking great. And then of course down here, these are a little bit of a newer edition from this past year. I think these came out from, I want to say Spin Master put these out. These Spin Master retro figures from Superman the movie. Very, very cool. I think I have the whole set. Might be missing some of the variations on Jor-El there. I'm not sure. Maybe Lois, I'm not sure, but they are incredibly cool, and they were only like $7.99, which was really, really fun, especially if you're like a retro figure collector of Star Wars. You know how expensive those are. These were cheap and fun, and pretty easy to collect the whole set from Target. I think they were a Target exclusive. Got my older NECA Superman right there. He's still okay, I guess. He doesn't really hold a candle to this really, really cool McFarlane Superman that came out this last summer. I love that figure a lot. Behind him, if you guys can see, you know, kind of peeking back behind there, you've got Superman the movie on VHS, which is still very, very cool. So yeah, there's my Superman the movie 1978 shelf. It doesn't get much better than that, but we're going to try to top it here as we keep going. Coming down the shelf here, I've got two really cool Hot Toys figures in there. I've got the Justice League version of Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman from the DCEU, knocking the shit out of General Zod, or Michael Shannon's General Zod, I should say, from the Man of Steel. That looks pretty freaking awesome. That's a really, really cool display. I just kind of set that up tonight. I had these guys in a really boring pose and felt I needed to give my DCEU figures a little more love than they were getting, because they're still really, really cool, and I really enjoyed those films when they came out. So yeah, that's really cool though. I like the pose there. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, nothing's better than Superman knocking the crap out of a baddie. Yeah, looking cool. Alright, you guys, coming next shelf down, we got obviously some more Superman 1978, the movie. Love in there with that complete Aladdin lunchbox, looking so cool, complete with the thermos. My wife got me that as a gift a couple of years back. God, she's a great wife. I don't remember where she found that. My wife's not an avid eBay or anything like that, so she probably got it from an ARC thrift auction site or something like that. Again, I don't remember for sure, but it was a really generous, awesome gift. And yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces down here. Right next to that is more of a general Superman. This is a Sideshow 1/6 scale Superman. Again, put out by Sideshow Collectibles a number of years back. Got the Brainiac head there, looking pretty cool. Yeah, that's really damn awesome. And then coming down here, I've got Cyborg Superman. We got Supergirl from the WB series. She's cool. And I got a nice, really, really cool Lex Luthor there with his like biosuit on. That's cool. And then we got a Walgreens exclusive Bizarro figure, which I think is really neat as well. So yeah, a lot of just some different hodgepodge in there. But the real star of this shelf is definitely that lunchbox. I love that lunchbox. All right, and then down here we've got some Superman source material, hardback books, some really cool stuff. Got a really, really cool statue that my good friend Uncle Pat gave me a number of years back. That's pretty damn awesome. It was a very generous gift from him. So thank you, Uncle Pat. I still love it. I got Brandon Ross Superman there, looking cool. That came out with the film back in 2007. And then behind them is my complete set of Super Friends that came out a number of years back as well. I love that backdrop. Very, very cool. Very retro. Very, very cool. And got a Kryptonian robot in there as well. So yeah, that's rad. So we're going to start at the bottom and go up this time, because this shelf would be a rather subpar shelf to finish this Superman portion of the tour on. This is almost amounts to just basically a storage shelf of just basically some odds and ends of different Superman figures from different DC IPs and different companies that have had the license over the years. There's a really cool 2000s Justice League Superman, which is pretty damn rad. And then coming up to the next shelf, it just gets better as we go up. I've got some really cool 1943 Fleischer Love in there. I can't remember the company that put those out. I bought this set off Big Bad Toy Store on sale about 2 years ago. But anyway, it's all 1943 Fleischer Superman, which is really cool. If you haven't ever watched any of the 1940s Fleischer stuff, it's all on YouTube for free. Go watch it, man. Man, the biggest thing that pisses me off as a Superman fan is as a little kid, I didn't know these existed. You know, the only Superman, and I loved Superman, he was my absolute favorite when I was a kid, but the only Superman that I really had, you know, that I could watch was either the Christopher Reeve film, which was great, but, you know, it was a movie and, you know, we didn't have this was long before we ever even had a VHS player. So, you know, I could only watch it when it was on TV. And then the fucking Super Friends. And no disrespect, I love the Super Friends, but that Superman kind of sucks in the Super Friends. This 1943 Fleischer films or Fleischer shorts are so amazing. Like I said, they existed when I was a kid, and they were never on TV. Obviously, we didn't have the internet then, and so I'm so pissed I didn't get to enjoy those as a kid. But anyway, they've got a nice little spot down here in the Plastic Planet. I love that robot. I think that's the first episode. And then, of course, we've got Lois and Clark there from the 1943 Fleischer films. Got Dr. Fate from the Superpowers collection from Kenner. That's my original childhood one, although that cape is repro. This is my original Superman from my childhood. Got him in 1984 at a drugstore, and, you know, begged my mom to buy him. And yeah, I absolutely love him. So he's well loved. If you guys can't tell, that's my childhood Superman. Got Clark Kent. That was a mail away Clark Kent. Didn't pick him up until I was a grown up. Only got him for $40 though at a collector store a number of years back. And I know he's worth a ton more now, so I'm glad to have him in the collection. Got Lex Luthor. I picked him up also as a collector, not as a child. And there's my childhood Dark Side there, which is cool. I've got a Superpower super case that's full of records. That's full of 45 records, most of my read-along records from when I was a kid. So it's full of those. But I've had that collection that case since I was a little guy. In fact, you can see a place where our family dog chewed it up on the corner there. So yeah, a lot of childhood nostalgia there for me. But yeah, that's a great shelf, man. That's a great shelf. Hey guys, next shelf, I've got an Action Comics 1000 Superman there from McFarlane, that's a great Superman. I'm not an avid comic book reader, especially modern comics. I read some as a kid, and I was reading comics quite a bit in the mid-2000s, but I haven't read a comic book in probably 15 years at this point. But anyway, that's a great figure. I can't tell you anything about the comic book he came from, but I can tell you a lot about this one. This, of course, is the Death of Superman. We got Superman there versus Doomsday getting the shit kicked out of him. I reviewed this piece when this channel was like 3 videos old. And so if you want to go way back deep into the catalog of my YouTube channel and see how bad I sucked when I first started this channel, maybe I still sucked, but if you want to see how bad I really sucked, check out this video. Again, it's an awesome piece, though. I dig it a lot. And then, of course, there is the full graphic novel of The Death of Superman behind him. I did read that when it came out when I was a kid. I was in high school when that came out. A lot of fun. That's just a nice core memory of mine from high school, reading a Superman comic. It was just a good time in my life, you know, like high school was for a lot of us. It was just a good time in my life. So that comic book kind of takes me back. Finally, to my last shelf here in my Superman collection. I loved the 2025 David Cornsweet Superman James Gunn film. Absolutely loved it. So I had to get the Hot Toys version of him. Just incredible. Awesome. I know there's a lot of New 52 in that costume, which wasn't my favorite costume ever. But I still loved the depiction of Superman in that film. Just needed a feel-good movie, and James Gunn definitely delivered that. That's just my opinion. I loved it. I loved his robot helper there. That's 4, aka Gary. And this figure was cool. This is a McFarlane figure. Came with a number of different head swap outs. I went with more of the sarcastic, snarky one with him giving a thumbs up. I love that. A lot of personality there, standing on top of that battery operated light, which I bought from GameStop and was really disappointed to find out it was battery operated. There's Crypto. Crypto, of course, came with the Hot Toys David Cornsweet Superman. So this is Hot Toys Crypto, I guess you might say. Looking really cool. Got a Beast Kingdom Superman back there. That is actually one of my favorite generic Superman. I shouldn't call it generic. I'm sure it's from something. Again, I'm not an avid comic book reader. I'm mostly into I'm mostly into, you know, TV shows, movies, cartoons, and things like that. But yeah, I definitely love him. Breaking the green kryptonite chains there. I had a sleeping bag as a kid with Superman breaking chains on it. In fact, it was the same image you see on this awesome Colorform adventure set back there. Got that from a friend of the channel, Down Under Danny. Thank you so much, Down Under Danny. Yeah, he sent me that as a gift, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, this is a great looking shelf. I dig this one a lot, and that's a great way to end this awesome, cool Superman tour of my toy room. So yeah, anyway, there it is. One more time for you guys. But yeah, pretty awesome. Let's move on though. We got a long ways to go. And again, I want to keep this video as short as possible. Alright guys, so moving away from my Superman collection, you're going to start seeing, rather than full scale collections, just some more kind of mini collections here throughout my room down here. And this next set of shelves I'm going to be showing off to you guys, just to give you guys a little bit of a preview, is definitely just a lot of mini collections. So we're going to be going over these shelves next. And if you see something you like, make sure to stay tuned and keep watching. I'll be going over them. So yeah, we're going to start over on this side over here. And yeah, just a lot of really cool shit up here. Just starting off over here. I got my Beverly Cleary Mouse and the Motorcycle book. That's the first novel I ever read as a kid, and it was that very book right there. Yeah, it's just awesome. I gave it to my oldest son when he was in the 1st or 2nd grade, and he was around the same age that I was when I read it. And we were cleaning out his room after he left for college, and I found it, and I took it back. I'm like, I don't think he needs it anymore, so I took it back. So it is back in my possession. And yeah, that is so awesome. Got a Garfield trash can back there. Found that at a thrift store. That my sister actually had that exact same trash can. So it's cool to have it back, have it in my collection. I do love Garfield a lot, as you guys will see. I do love a lot of vintage comic strips from the, you know, the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Of course, we got the South Park gang there. These are all vinyl South Park. Got Butters, Kenny, Kyle, Carmen, and Stan. Picked those up all at my local Five Below. Again, they were like $5 each, so you got an instant collection there, which is really cool. I'm a Diet Coke drinker. You guys probably know that if you're a longtime viewer, subscriber. I got some mini Diet Coke bottles there from a really good friend at work. She hooked me up with those. And of course, I've got a dancing Diet Coke can up there. I don't think it works, but it's really cool, from the 80s. And of course, I picked that up at a collector store. Got a Diet Coke bank up there as well. So that's pretty cool. Then coming down next shelf here, we're going to try to pick it up here a little bit, guys. We got Garfield. I love Garfield. Got some of my vintage Garfield books from when I was a kid. Got some plushies I picked up off eBay. More recently, probably in the last 5 years, I got those. I always wanted some really cool, larger size plushies as a kid. Never had them. And then I've also got these ceramic Garfield statuettes, so you might call them. Those are vintage. Those are from the 80s. Those are absolutely cool. I very much like the probably the late 70s, early 80s depictions of Garfield. Like this guy here, that is actually from my childhood, this little vinyl figure. Absolutely love that. You know, back when vinyl figures were such a rage when we were kids, you know, like the Smurfs and Garfield. I think Peanuts had some. Those were so fun to go get. 'Cause there were toys your parents would buy you because they were just cheap and, you know, and just keep you happy for a few minutes. And yeah, so I absolutely love my Garfield. Yeah, he was like a stocking stuffer. But yeah, that one's really cool. Then I got some of my original books back there as well. I need to get some like things to display books because they're not sitting real well back there. But yeah, there's my Garfield shelf looking cool. And again, we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. I got the Muppets. I love the Muppets. Again, this is another mini collection, but I grew up with Jim Henson's Muppets. The Muppet Show was a mainstay in my family growing up. So of course we got some Star Wars inspired Muppets. I got those at Disneyland a number of years ago. Got the Muppets Take Manhattan glassware from McDonald's. Had this glass as a kid, not this particular glass, but had this glass as a kid, so I was glad to find that at a antique store a couple years back. But yeah, I don't have the full set of Muppets Take Manhattan glasses, but there's 3 of them, a nice little set of them. I got some really cool. I think these were from Diamond Select. I'm not sure. There's been a number of really cool Muppet figures made, and I think NECA's making some this year too that are going to be really cool and very tempting. But anyway, I think these are DC Direct Muppets, and they came in sets with various characters. Got Kermit there, of course, Fozzie, Gonzo, Miss Piggy, Scooter, looking really cool. Got Rizzo the Rat there with his chicken ladies, looking cool. Got Miss Piggy's puppy. I can't remember her name, but that's cool. Got Ralph the dog there with his piano. Of course, got the Critics. I love them so much. But yeah, moving over here, I got some other figurines that I picked up at Disney Land as well. And of course, just got a really cool Muppets Pez dispenser, a little Muppets diecast figure, and a vintage Miss Piggy. I'm not sure where that's from. But yeah, there's my Muppets collection, looking really cool. And it's coming down to the next shelf. I've really collected a lot of Peanut shit recently. This is sort of a recent collection for mine, even though Peanuts have been a lifelong love of mine. But as far as collecting them, I've just kind of gotten into that in the last couple of years, and particularly in the last year or so. I've collected all these that you see here in this shelf. Metacom and Super 7 have been doing a ton of good shit. This is a Metacom here. This was actually my most recent one. Peppermint Patty there getting kissed by Snoopy. That's a Metacom set that I got off Amazon. So cool. And of course, I've got the Super 7, Franklin, Lucy, Charlie Brown, and Linus there. Picked those up recently. Picked up this Doghouse. Talked about that earlier, a couple videos back here on the Plastic Planet this year. Can't remember the company that made it, but it's not Super 7. It's a little older than that. I think that's a mid-2000s Snoopy. But yeah, you got Snoopy in his big dog bone bowl there, full of dog bones, and of course his house and Woodstock on top of it. I picked up this piano from, I want to say, TJ Maxx. Found it for $20, deep discount. Of course, it plays the Vince Guaraldi Peanuts, Linus and Lucy song, which is really, really freaking cool, but we're going to turn it off because we don't want to get any kind of copyright issues here. Yeah, epic and awesome. Got some Peanut newspaper clippings. Talked about that again on another video earlier back. Those are all from the 1960s. Picked those up off eBay for just nothing, just a couple bucks, and got them. And originally I was going to tape them up all around here, and then I realized what they were and how old they were, and you know, basically I have to keep them. I have to keep them in there until I can find a respectable way to display them without damaging them, because they are so old. They're over, 50, 60 years old. So yeah, I got to show some respect there. Got the kite-eating tree there with Charlie Brown. I think that's Super 7. From Metacom, got the Mass Marvel there with Snoopy. That's from their Motocross You're a Good Sport Charlie Brown special that came out in November of 1975, which came out like 3 weeks after I was born. So that's kind of special. And we always had that on read-along record when I was a kid. So that particular episode we had on read-along record. So I remember listening to it on road trips with my mom, going to Iowa to see my grandparents. That's kind of special. I picked up this lunchbox. This is a 1960s era lunchbox. Picked it up just this week at an antique store, only $10. Now, no thermos, but only 10 bucks. And yeah, it's got some wear on it, but still, man, $10. It was an amazing find. So yeah, there's the state of my Peanuts collection as of now. One more time. Oh man, I wish I could let that breathe. I wish I could let that breathe so bad. I love that so much. All right, guys, next shelf down, we got my Fisher-Price Sesame Street play set from 1972, maybe 73. I'm not sure what year it came out. This is really incredible and awesome. Now, this was not something I had as a kid. This was something that I got to play with at preschool, though, like 1979, maybe. Anyway, my preschool teacher would bring it in once a week as a treat, and it was like blew my fucking socks off when she did. I absolutely love this play set. I did a full review of it on the channel a really long time ago. I bought this again as a collector, as a YouTuber. I bought it, and it was really like a grail piece for me to get this, because once again, like I said, I played with this thing all the time in preschool, and I loved it so much. But anyway, so I had to buy it as a collector, as an adult. But and I've got some other miscellaneous Sesame Street items on here that obviously aren't part of the set. I got this really cool porcelain Big Bird that I got at a thrift store with my wife. That's fun. But yeah, overall, I love this set a lot. There's Gordon chilling there, and Gordon's so awesome. And Cookie Monster back there. And then, of course, we got up here, we got Susan chilling in the window. And Bert fell over. We'll just get Bert out of there. Bert fell over. There's Bert. And then Ernie. We'll see more Bert and Ernie later in this tour. But yeah, so anyway, there's my Fisher-Price set. Again, I love that so much. That gives me a lot of feels. Yeah, that goes way back. So I was glad when I was able to purchase it and bring it home and have it in my collection. So again, I did a video on it a number of years back. Check it out if you want. But yeah, pretty cool. Lastly, for the shelf, this is another toss-away shelf. I'm not going to spend any time on it. You can see there's some cool stuff down here, though. I got some Captain Power figs down here that I picked up off eBay. Got a really cool SpongeBob lamp. Got an Alf electric toothbrush holder that I got off eBay. pretty recently. Not recently, but last couple years. Last 5 years. So anyway, that's fun. And we're going to go up the next set of shelves. We're going to start out on this dumpy shelf down here too. This is mostly just storage. Some boxes of my my Star Trek figs that you'll see later in the tour. Got some cool Smurfs glassware though, which you can't shake a stick at those. Those are pretty cool. Those are vintage Smurf glassware. Got a brainy Smurf there. That's actually from one of the more recent movies. Got that at a thrift store or something. He's pretty cool. And then coming up here again, more kind of storagey kind of things. We got a cool Super 7 Grimlock there. Got an awesome got an awesome Iron Maiden figure there. My brother-in-law gave that to me. Got Eddie there, looking pretty awesome. Very Aztecan looking Eddie there with a throbbing heart that he obviously just sacrificed and cut out. Got a Diamond Select Dusty kit figure with my original Kenner David Hasselhoff Michael Knight figure that came with my Kenner Knight Rider that I had as a kid, but this is the Diamond Select one and it is Dusty. Sorry about that. Got a Hollywood Rides kit there as well. Got some cool Star Trek Playmate Star Trek. They're all Captain Kirk figures, so that's pretty cool. Coming up next, we got my Ghostbusters shelf, and this is all Hasbro Plasma Ghostbusters stuff that came out a couple years ago. Looking really cool. Got 4 of the original 1984 Ghostbusters there. Again, these are all from, I want to say, I don't know, they're now a couple years old now. They came out when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out in theaters, and then they put out all these, and these are all 6-inch scale, or like Black Series or Marvel Legends scale Ghostbusters figure. And then we got Dana there, and Zool, and the freaking awesome Terror Dog there. And that Ghostbusters backdrop is actually the top of a Krispy Kreme box, because Krispy Kreme did a Ghostbusters offering a couple years back with like green slime donuts and shit. They were all fucking delicious. But yeah, so I kept the box cover because I thought it was so cool. I got a Ghostbusters light there from the firehouse. Really cool. Got an EPQ meter, whatever, a ghost meter. Yeah, so that's cool too. All right, guys, next shelf is my Super 7 large size Charlie Brown and Snoopy figures. These are more like 1950s era Peanuts. Very, very cool. We got, obviously, this is like puppy Snoopy, but this is how Charles Schultz drew him in the early mid 50s. Really, really cool. And that also kind of tugs at my heartstrings a little bit. My sister and I had a Peanuts comic collection from the 50s, and of course, Snoopy was drawn like this in all those books, so that's something I'm familiar with from my childhood. And we got Charlie Brown there in his red shirt, which is really, really cool. Got Snoopy's birth certificate from the Daisy Mill Puppy Farm or whatever. I'm probably butchering that. But yeah, no, cool. I got some Peanut comics on the side there from some packaging, and a backdrop I did myself, and some fake grass there that I put in there. I thought it looked kind of cool. So that's a nice, fun little shelf, again, with some Peanuts love on it. And then coming up next here, got Beavis and Butthead. God, I love Beavis and Butthead. The backdrops there are actually from a calendar from 1995 that I had. So I actually found it in an old box, kind of sacrificed the calendar for the sake of putting up some of the cool stuff in it. You guys can see that back there. The calendar, the front of the calendar there. So yeah, sacrifice the calendar to kind of put them in, in some picture frames and make it look really good as a nice backdrop for this shelf here with some 90s era Beavis and Butthead action figures. And for 1990s era figures, those are amazing. They don't stand real well. They've taken a shelf dive here and there, but they are still really, really cool. I love the Beavis and Butthead there. Again, those are from the late 90s. I can't remember what company did them. They look way better than the Super 7 versions that just came out a couple of years back, as you guys can see. Of course, I got my Beavis and Butthead DVD collection there, and then I've got the Beavis and Butthead couch remote control thing. This is also from the late 90s, I believe. But yeah, or mid to late 90s. And yeah, you hooked it up to your remote control, and you'd turn the channel, and they would talk. I don't know. Someone's put it out on YouTube before. I don't think this one works, but it's very cool. So anyway, that's my small Beavis and Butthead collection. I actually do have more Beavis and Butthead pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the Beavis and Butthead action figure couch set from Mondo that I have coming later in the year. Maybe this year. I'm not sure when that comes. But yeah, I'll be happy and excited to get those, and I'll definitely show those off on the channel. But this is my Beavis and Butthead shelf as it looks today, and it looks absolutely awesome. Now, coming back up here, we got some modern Sesame Street love. I know I showed that Fisher-Price set off. As Sesame Street fans, collectors, we're eating good right now. We're eating really good. I actually found this Super Grover at Target. This is NECA. Is Super Grover, and he is incredible. He comes with a flight stand, which is really cool. I didn't think NECA would do something that cool and thoughtful, but they did. So yeah, he is epic and really, really cool. I just unboxed him tonight and put him on the shelf before I did this tour. So I'm really happy to have him. He comes with the letters S and the letter G, which of course stands for Super Grover. But yeah, that is really, really fun. Again, he is on his stand there in a flight pose. Oh, so cool. And then of course I got the NECA Bert and Ernie that came out earlier this year as well. Right behind it is a vintage lunchbox, a Sesame Street vintage lunchbox. Now, this wasn't mine when I was a kid, but I had this one in preschool, and I mentioned my preschool experience with Sesame Street before with that Fisher-Price playset. So again, we're kind of revisiting that era of my life a little bit because I had this lunchbox in preschool. Again, not this particular one, but I had this lunchbox, and so there's a lot of core memories there. I picked up this really, really cool Oscar the Grouch model kit this last year. Can't remember the company that did it, but it's really, really nice and fun. And then, of course, I've got a vintage Big Bird cookie jar there, wearing a Colorado Rockies hat, if you can't tell. Yeah, anyway, my Rockies suck, but I love them. But yeah, that's really fun. There's a Lightning McQueen there as well. And then coming over this side, we got a cool vintage 1990 era Bart Simpson. Yeah, I found him at a thrift store for like $2, so that's pretty fun. So anyway, yeah, there's the shelves one more time, you guys. Again, these are all a lot of my mini collections. You'll see some more mini collections on this tour here. But yeah, this is the mainstay of my mini collections here on these two shelves. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so let's just keep going. We're going to keep going that way. Let's do it. All right, you guys coming around the corner. We're going to hit my next set of shelves, right? Right. Alrighty, guys. Well, this shelf is full of a lot of different mini collections as well, including sort of a mainstay collection in there. But anyway, we're going to go all the way up to the top and start way up there and head our way down. You guys can see some carded Star Wars figures in the back there, but we've also got just a lot of fun stuff here in the foreground from NECA and Fortnite. Got E.T. there and the Banana Dude. Got my Alf on a couch. That's really awesome. That's from NECA. Got my Armada Unicron transformed into planet munching mode. I got some figures I picked up at Five Below, including the Sugar Smacks Frog and Ren and Stimpy. Of course, we got Chester Cheetah there chilling on a couch. We've got Angus Young and Bill and Ted there with the phone booth. So yeah, that's just a fun shelf, if I don't say so myself. Look at that. They got Lucky the Cat there. He's a sandwich. He came with the NECA Alf. But yeah, E.T. Yeah, that's fun. So anyway, guys, heading on down from there. Again, we're trying to pick up some steam a little bit. Got some awesome coolness from Avatar: The Last Airbender from Nicktoons. Love that. Speaking of Nickelodeon, you got my really, really cool premium looking SpongeBob, Gary, and Patrick there. Love those. And I got a SpongeBob vending machine. Got that at Five Below as well. I love me some SpongeBob. SpongeBob wasn't from my childhood, but it was from my kids' childhood. And when you get to a certain point, your kids are going away to college and all that, that shit suddenly becomes very, very nostalgic. I feel the same way about Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was a show my wife watched religiously when she was breastfeeding our second born. So I watched it a lot as well. And so, great show. So yeah, looking very, very cool. Some shit from love from my childhood. Of course, these are modern figs. We got Popeye there and Bluto with some aquarium decorations that actually look really, really cool. So I think that's a nice little set there. Guys, and this is sort of a transitional shelf here. I actually had something different set up over here previously, but I have moved most, not all, but most of my Studio Series Transformers over here. These are Studio Series 86 Transformers, including my Constructicons. Got the Insecticons in there. Sideswipe. Got two Optimus Primes. I showed those off in a video just a couple weeks ago. And of course, I got my childhood trauma series Studio Series figures, including Ratchet, Ironhide, Prowl, and Brawn. Showed those off in an earlier video. And I got my Studio Series Thundercracker in there as well. Oh, and Windcharger too. And Bumblebee. So yeah, I got a lot of really cool shit in there. And but yeah, we're not going to spend any time on that. Kind of talked about these in recent videos. We're just going to keep moving, but looking good. Next shelf, showed these off in an earlier video this year, and nothing's changed. This is sort of my horror shelf. This might be moving out, but pretty much all these are offerings from NECA, except for the Vincent and Maximilian from the Black Hole there. They're not really horror. That's sort of a stretch, but I don't know. It's a freaky fucking movie for a Disney film, The Black Hole, Disney's Black Hole. But anyway, I showed this shelf off earlier in the year, and these guys are probably going to be moving out. Got my creature from the Black Lagoon there in an aquarium, which I think is really cool. Got Megan. Yeah, anyway, like I said, these are going to be moving out, but yeah, there's my horror shelf. Going to be moving that to a new location, but yeah, really, really cool. And then coming down to the next shelf, got my Simpsons shelf, and my Simpsons shelf as it is being evolving. I actually collected Simpsons back in the day when it came out, when that line of figures came out. Can't remember the company that did them, but I actually was collecting them back then. But I've really gotten into these really, really cool 2.5-inch Simpsons figures and play sets, because you can, sell them with play sets, which I think is really, really cool there. We got the, I keep wanting to call it the goddamn Krusty Krab. There's Krusty Burger there. Again, these are only 2.5-inch figures. They're really, really rad. Got the Simpsons car. Showed this off again earlier in the year here on the channel. Maybe it was last fall. I can't remember. But then, of course, we got the Simpsons living room there as well, with Ned Flanders crashing out. And then, of course, we've got some of the larger scale figures in here as well. Got Homer, got Marge. And that's actually I want to say a 25th, 30th anniversary figure of Mark Hamill when he made an appearance on The Simpsons. That's a really cool episode. Lisa and Maggie in there as well. Almost looks like Mark Hamill's kind of cucking Homer there. But yeah, anyway, that's really cool. That's a cool looking shelf. And then finally, guys, I'm trying to keep moving here, trying to keep this going. I got my Dukes of Hazzard shelf, or my Dukes of Hazzard-esque shelf. But anyway, I got a really cool die-cast metal General Lee there. Got some really, really cool small Matchbox Hot Wheels scale cars in there. There's General Lee, and then 2 police cars. Got some Matchbox cars from my childhood, including that really, really cool Corvette and a Datsun 300. Sitting in the parking lot of Pizza Hut. I built this model myself, this diorama myself, and my KFC model. Now, guys, we're going to come around the corner here, and this is where things get a little messy. So bear with me. Alrighty, guys, so this is where it kind of gets hairy over here. This is where it gets real messy. This is actually my crafting table here. That's sort of being occupied as storage at the moment. Got my life-size Yoda there. I don't know what to do with him. He's fun, he's cool, but I don't really want to display him upstairs anymore. Speaking of stuff I don't want to display upstairs anymore, my Star Wars collection, I've got this premium format Darth Vader. He's kind of broken, and I just don't have room for him upstairs, so he's kind of in limbo, in purgatory right now. I'm not sure what to do with him. So anyway, he's just chilling on my craft table there. And I got my DVD collection behind it, so it's kind of messy here. Those fishing tackle boxes are all my Hot Toys and Sideshow 1/6 scale accessories, mostly Star Wars stuff in there. Then moving up here, again, I got my DVDs, got some bins full of toy train set supplies, my Transformer accessories, some various miscellaneous action figure storage. And then coming up here, I've got some Boglins. Those are all Boglins that were recently re-put out. And then there's some 90s Conan the Barbarian love over there, which is really weird. Showed those off on the channel years ago. It was just weird. Then I've got some Squid Game, red light, green light shit up there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's a fun shelf. Hey guys, so I'm up on a step ladder here to show you off this shelf, and I'm kind of up into the subfloor of my basement here, unfinished basement, obviously. And I've kind of had I've had a few encounters with Black Widow spiders up in here, so I'm kind of being a little careful. I mean, they're not generally aggressive, but they are venomous as fuck, and so I really don't want to get bit by one. I don't want to walk into one on accident. I don't think they don't really go out of their way to bite you, but if you give them a reason to, they will. But anyway, so I'm being kind of careful. But anyway, on this shelf, got some fun shit. Got a Yogi Bear plushie I got at a thrift store. Got my Fisher Price really cool Shark Adventure People play set thing that I picked up as an adult. The boat I picked up as an adult. The diver there, yeah, I've had him around the channel for a long time. That's actually from my childhood. That's the figure that I have left over from this set from when I got it as a kid. But so yeah, finally got his boat a couple years back. So yeah, that's Roger there. He was at one point an unofficial mascot of the channel here, Roger, the Adventure People person. I got a 1983 lunchbox there. My wife picked that up. We actually got like a bunch of them on a big kind of lot we bought, and I actually ended up with 2 of those lunchboxes. I got one displayed upstairs and one displayed down here at the Wicket R2-D2 lunchbox. Got Mr. Game Show, which is really cool. Mr. Game Show used to work. Had this as a kid. This actually was my sister's, but I kind of stole it because I'm a bastard. But yeah, Mr. Game Show, he was a fun, kind of a fun interactive game. Basically like a Wheel of Fortune kind of thing going on there. But he was fun. Maybe Hangman. I don't know how you would describe that game there. But he had like 3 different games you could play with him. He was really, really rad. I love Mr. Game Show. So there's that shelf there. Anyway, let's start getting into some Transformers now, which will be really cool. Moving over from my extremely messy crafty table, guys, we are going up into my Transformers section of my collection. Of course, the very top of this first shelf is not Transformers at all. I got some love for my very favorite football team up there, my very favorite NFL football team, the Denver Broncos. That Huddles Stuffy there I've had since I was a very little kid, and my wife and I's engagement picture from 2002. Talk about a relic. But now, seriously, going down and taking a look at some Transformers. First shelf here, got some Studio Series love in there. Got Grimlock, Slag, and Sludge. Sludge is still in the box. Also got some reissue Transformer G1 toys with the Transformers the movie animated colors. Got Shrapnel there. I think I've got Kickback behind him. Still haven't gotten around to opening those. Don't know if I will, but anyway, they're chilling in the box there. Coming down here, got a Grimlock shelf there. I've got a an older, much older Hasbro Masterpiece Grimlock. 2 Masterpiece Grimlocks, actually. One in Dinobot mode, one in Robot mode. And then we've got an old Grimlock bust. I want to say that is a Hard Hero bust. Not sure. I can't remember the brand on that one, but yeah, pretty old. And picture of my sister and I when we were very little. Coming down to the next shelf here, I got my Headmasters. Now these are the 2 Headmasters I had as a kid there. I've got Chrome Dome and then Skull Cruncher respectively, and then I've got their reissues still in the packaging from just a couple years back. So I think that's actually kind of a cool shelf. And then I got more storage down there, so not much to see. And then coming over here, guys, let's just keep this rolling here. I've got more of my Studio Series / modern Hasbro, I guess you might say, Transformers. I got my giant Scorponok up there. Got my Scourge. Got a Red Series Megatron there being converted into Galvatron, which is really cool. Got some Sharkticon love. Then, of course, I've got all of my... Oh, there's Galvatron back there as well. And then I've got all of my Transformers the Movie / Season 3 bots displayed over here, including my Kingdom Rodimus Prime that I actually ordered a new head sculpt for. That's a custom head sculpt. There's the original head sculpt, which I never liked, but I got a custom head sculpt, which I really like. I just think he looks really damn cool. There's RC there, Wreck-Gar, there's Bumblebee in there, Cup, Ultra Magnus, Skylynx up there. So yeah, that's really damn cool. And then coming down to the next shelf here, got a bunch of my Masterpiece figs. And I've got a light out of control here, but let's see if that'll stick. Yeah, I got a bunch of my Masterpiece figs there. Yeah, not much to say there. Just some of the Masterpiece figures that I've collected over the many, many years there. That's a really, really nice shelf in the Autobots arc. That's what I was going for with that diorama there. And then coming over to the next shelf, I've got just my little homage to my favorite Transformer of all time, Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime, with a, I think that's a 35th anniversary Transformers the Movie Blu-ray. Over from my Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime shelf, I've got Fortress Max here, hanging out with my Season 3 era Autobots. So we're kind of going Season 3, Season 4, the original G1 cartoon here. And right next to Fort Max there, I have the Transformers 1 Matrix. Picked that up at Ross this last winter for like 10 bucks. I thought that was pretty cool. And I love Transformers 1. But yeah, I got to get a little Matrix love in there right next to Rodimus, which I think is kind of neat. And then coming down here, guys, I've got a Masterpiece third-party Omega Supreme there. And I've also got my original, well, I wouldn't say original, what is that? That's a Combiner Wars Devastator, which is still an amazing Devastator, and he holds up still really, really well. And then there's a old Blitzwing down there as well. I forget what line he was in. He might have been in the Power of the Primes or something like that. Modern era Transformers lines are sort of escape me sometimes. Coming over here, I got more Masterpiece figs. I got my Megatron, my Soundwave, Thundercracker, Starscream. Looks like they're like blowing their way through some building there, probably trying to steal energy from some factory or something. That was sort of what I was going for. Both of this one and the Autobot one up here. I was kind of some of my earliest attempts at diorama making, and they came out okay. You know, mostly it's about the figures, right? But yeah, it's sort of a fun shelf. And then coming over here, guys, I've got a large third-party Predaking. Don't know who made him. Got him a number of years back. In fact, he each figure came individually wrapped in little baggies, so it was sort of sketchy. But he's cool, and he still holds a nice position here in my collection. Got the Power of the Primes Optimus Prime there, and you can actually break him down into Orion packs, which is kind of cool, and I should probably do that at some point. But yeah, he's pretty cool. And then coming up here, I got more Masterpiece love. Got my Masterpiece KO Shockwave there. I've got a third-party Blitzwing, got Skywarp, and then Megatron there on the throne, and appraising some Energon cubes or something there, and like a Decepticon base. Got the base thing at a comic book store. I don't remember the company that did it. And then up here, I've got more of my Masterpiece third season Transformers with Galvatron, Scourge, and I've got Rodimus and Ultra Magnus back there, Cup, Springer, and RC and Wheelie and Daniel, which is really cool. This is a really, really, really nice shelf, and I'm thinking about doing something else with it because these bots are just really cool, and they're kind of hiding back here. And then coming up here to the next shelf, sorry, I had to pause the camera and get on a step ladder. Coming here to the next shelf, I've got my awesome Titans Return Trypticon, which is really cool. Got him a number of years back, but he still is really, really neat. Holds up really, really well. I think they've reissued him in the last couple of years, but yeah, he's really cool. And then I've got Run Amok and Runabout there with a little third-party Quintesson, which is kind of neat. And then coming over here, more bots, more Transformers. Love for you guys. Just a couple shelves up here. Mostly stuff in packaging, which I don't keep a lot of stuff in packaging, but in this case, I've got some stuff. I got a reissue Hot Rod there. I've got the Hot Rod from one of the earlier Studio Series offerings, which is pretty neat. And then I've got the box to my Kingdom Rodimus Prime. Couldn't bring myself to throw that out there. I've got a reissue Optimus Prime up there. Got my Kingdom Optimus Prime still in packaging, which are at some point I'll get him out maybe. And then some other third-party, smaller, non-transformable figs up there as well. Then coming up down here, guys, I got a really cool vinyl Grimlock. I forgot who did that. I've got the packaging to my reissue Starscream in the original toy, but in the movie or animation colors. Just the box for it because I thought it was really neat. And I got some more miscellaneous cool stuff there. I think that's a Red Series Optimus Prime. I've got a box to a mid-2000s Hasbro reissue of Rodimus Prime back there. Got some Heroes of Cybertron here. I actually have a lot of Heroes of Cybertron, but most of them are packed away, but these are some of my favorites. If you guys remember that line, just a small vinyl line. They're sold at like Walgreens here in the United States, and they sold for like $3.99. Really fun line to collect. I got a lunchbox there. The thermos to it is right over here as well, but that is a season 3 lunchbox. My wife got that for me. That's a vintage lunchbox, not from my childhood, but someone else's. But yeah, still really, really cool. Got some Funko love there, some vinyl, or some Funko Pops, I should say, with Galvatron and Rodimus Prime. Those were a 2-pack. So yeah, those are my 2 Transformer shelves up here in the rafters. Again, being careful to avoid the spiders. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then coming down here, we got some coming away from Transformers, at least for a little bit here. Let's get into some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So checking out my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, and this is sort of just another mini collection amongst many collections here in the toy room of the Plastic Planet. But yeah, this is all mostly, I'd say 90% of this is all from the Mutant Mayhem movie that came out a couple of years ago. I think it was directed by Seth Rogen or produced by Seth Rogen. I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. And I thought it was a cool toy line, so I just kind of, rather than, trying to collect a big blanket of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I sort of just went real selective in what I bought, and they had this playset and everything, and they were fairly on the cheap when they were at retail, so I went ahead and collected a lot of this line, not all of it, but a lot of this line. And although there's some other throwaway figures in there as well that are not part of the Mutant Mayhem line, like that April O'Neil, obviously, and then the Krang there, which in his robot, I think that's actually just like a regular mainline reissue of Krang. But you have really fun film and a fun line to collect, and I like this depiction of the turtles just because they kind of were actually like teenagers and not just like homeless surfer guys. And as far as their personalities, I kind of like that a lot. And you got Superfly over here. I thought the villains in it were creative and fun, just really cool. There's Bebop and Rocksteady over here, and yeah, it's just fun. There's an outhouse in there, which is, that's freaking awesome. Or a porta potty, I guess. Not really an outhouse, more of a porta potty. But yeah, really fun. Again, cool Mutant Mayhem play set. I did a full review on this, or showcase, I should say, when it came out, and you can probably find it in my library. If you open up my channel page and go into the videos, you should be able to find it. It's pretty obvious. But yeah, really fun if you want to see more on it. But yeah, that's cool. And then coming down to the next shelf, I've got, well, you know, I love McDonald's, man. What can I say? I fucking love it. And this is my McDonald Land 1970s/80s McDonald's collection here. I've got some awesome goodies in here from Remco. You guys might remember those if you're a child of the 70s. I've got Ronald, and then the Hamburglar before they turned him all boyish in the 80s when he actually looked like a hamburger, like a cartoon crook, which I kind of like, although his hat's a little jacked up. But yeah, he's still really cool. So I got Hamburglar there, I got Ronald, and of course we got Grimace. You got to have Grimace. And then I bought the Fry Guys. I think they're more from the 80s than the 70s. And the Chicken McNuggets, they're of course from the 80s. I think that was a Happy Meal toy back in the day. More Fry Guys. That's a milk robot from a Captain Crunch box from the 80s, from my childhood actually. And then coming over here, we've got the McDonald's play set. It's incomplete. I got it at a antique store. Didn't know this was a thing, but found it at an antique store. I think it's from the early 70s. I can't remember the company that made it, although I would know it if I could read it on the thing, but I can't see that far. But anyway, yeah, it's just really cool. So yeah, that's a really fun little shelf there. And I gotta love my McDonald's stuff. Alright guys, we're coming down the shelves here. We're coming over here to my Playmobil section, which is a pretty small section of my collection. Mostly headlined here by the original series USS Enterprise I bought a couple years back. Did a full review on this guy as well here on the channel. And I've got the bridge all opened up so you guys can see the bridge crew there at their stations and the electronic features. This piece had a really nice app when it originally came out. Well, that app has been discontinued, so you actually have to physically open up the model to turn it on, which kind of is a big bummer. But as you guys can see, it's really pretty awesome there. You got the nacelles moving there, the Bassard collectors on the nacelles rotate and everything, and the bridge lights up, and it's actually a really fun, cute little collection, or a piece I should say. And of course you've got everybody at their appropriate stations there from the original series crew. I like that one a lot. That's pretty cool. And then coming around here, just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, I did buy an early 80s 1980s space set or space station. I just think it really fits really nicely with the USS Enterprise here. Again, these aren't official Star Trek or anything, but they definitely fit in the theme here with the USS Enterprise in Playmobil form. I'll pop the saucer section top back on. And so yes, you guys can see how that looks. Again, pretty damn awesome. I'm not giving you guys a great look at it, but again, I did do a full review on this piece, so you guys can check that out if you're so inclined. All right, guys, next shelf. I'm not going to spend a lot of time up here because most people don't care about my football team preferences, but yeah, I got a nice Denver Broncos shelf in here, including two large-sized authentic helmets that I bought probably 25 years ago. It's still in the case, looking really cool. So this is where I do a lot of my gaming, is right over here, particularly modern gaming. I play a lot of Madden, so I thought having my football stuff over here would be pretty cool. And then coming up here, speaking of gaming, I've got my Atari 2600 Plus. I've got the newer, I should say, Atari VCS release there, and then of course my Xbox S series. So yeah, that's pretty damn awesome there, with a really cool car I built and made it a Denver Bronco custom car. Built that at like the Disneyland Resort. It's kind of neat. It's at like a little build-a-car place, kind of like a Build-A-Bear, but you built cars. So yeah, that's fun. Of course, I customized it and made it a Bronco car, which is neat. And then we got some more dinosaurs and shit. And my gaming TV there, which is rad. All right, you guys, and coming up the shelf here, we got some Star Trek love. Lots and lots of Star Trek love. Mostly these really cool Playmates 1990s. Mid to late 1990s original series figures. I think these guys are 10-inch scale figures. Very cool. Got mostly all of the original series crew there. Got Scotty, Uhura, McCoy, Kirk, Spock, Sulu, and Nurse Chapel back there. Really, really damn cool. Got some other odds and ends in here as well. Yeah, I got the original Enterprise there, put out by Art Asylum. That's like the HD version there. Pretty cool, hanging on a string here. I don't think it works though anymore. And then coming over here, I've got from EXO, I've got my 2 premium figures from EXO. These are current figures. Picked these up pretty recently from Star Trek Enterprise. Got Jonathan Archer there, and T'Pol looking very, very cool with Porthos. Gotta have Porthos in there. Love the fact that Archer came with his dog, which is really, really neat. So yeah, that's a pretty damn fun shelf. Alright guys, I'm going back up into the rafters, but here's a bird's eye view of the shelf I just showed you guys with some shadowing in there. I apologize for that. Then coming up here, man, we got some awesome cool love from Diamond Select, that Enterprise D on a custom acrylic stand, looking cool. Then from Galoob from 1987, I got almost the entire set of Galoob 1987 Star Trek The Next Generation figures. Pretty damn awesome. Got the Enterprise E there from Diamond Select as well, in addition to the refitted Enterprise from Diamond Select / Art Asylum. Of course, you guys will see my Tomy USS Enterprise, both my Tomy USS Enterprises here in just a little bit on this tour that I've recently talked about here on the channel. Then moving over here, guys, before we get too far, I just want to show off this ledge here a little bit. I got some Amigo re-release figures there. I got some novels, Star Trek novels from my childhood. Got the Micro Machines Star Trek ships that came out in the mid-90s. This was actually this package, not this particular one, but this really got me into collecting as an adult, just seeing these in high school on a shelf, these Micro Machines Star Trek ships. That's when I started buying toys again, basically, at around the age of 17, back in the mid-90s there. I just loved it so much. So I actually, when I saw it on eBay, I had to get this particular set, because this is one of the first toys I ever bought as basically a grown-ass dude. And so, yeah, it's got a place here in my collection. Again, more novels from my childhood. Got some albums in there. Just some other miscellaneous shit going down the line there. Pretty damn cool. Up there's Pee Wee Herman hanging out in the rafters as well. He's just hanging by his drawstring. Rest in peace. And so, yeah, let's keep going over here. We're going to move over here, guys. Sorry, it's messy in here. This is kind of sort of where it gets the rubber hits the road a little bit. And as far as how my room looks, but I try to hide it. But, yeah, it gets messy over here. Anyway, let's take a look at my Star Trek shelves. Going back down, we'll just hop off. I'm going to hop off the step stool, and we'll just take a look at these. Right, guys, going to move pretty quickly over the Star Trek shelves here. Not much has changed with them over the years, and I've done some various Star Trek tours on this channel, so we're not gonna spend a lot of calories here. But you guys can see on my upper shelf here, got a nice assortment of Star Trek ships, both from Playmates from the late 90s, as well as Art Asylum from the 2000s. And then we come down here, we got some Star Trek movie love for you guys. I got some really cool modern Playmate figures in there, Kirk and Spock. That Savick is actually from the 1990s Playmates line. I got a cool third-party bridge set in there I bought off Etsy. Got a Star Trek 5 fan magazine that I bought when I was a kid back in 1989 when the film came out. I got the Enterprise A there, looking very, very cool, as well as the Star Trek The Motion Picture bridge set. That's a cardboard cutout, third-party thing I picked up a while back with some, with the Star Trek The Motion Picture Playmates line in there, and sort of works. It's a little awkward, but it sort of works. That's pretty cool. Coming down to the next shelf, I got my Art Asylum, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy there, looking pretty damn cool. Got some reproduction Mego in there. Got a later collectible lunchbox from the original series. Got the original series Enterprise from Art Asylum in there. Got some Star Trek color forms again in there. Shout out down under Danny once again for that one. Coming down to the next shelf, oh, that's a Johnny Lightning Galileo shuttlecraft there. That's really cool. Coming down to the next shelf, got some Mega Blocks love here. Now, this is a set that's I've had for a while. Bought it at a deep discount store back in the day and paid almost nothing for it, and it's sort of worth a couple bucks on the secondary market now, so kind of cool having that in my collection. And then I got some more Art Asylum love over here. Kirk and Khan there from the Space Seed, looking really, really damn cool. Got Kirk back there, looking awesome in his spacesuit. love that. And got some collector plates in there as well, so that's pretty damn rad. And then coming down to the next shelf here, got Kirk and Spock again, or Kirk and Khan again, I should say, from the Space Seed. And there was a backdrop to this. I actually lost it. That really sucks. But yeah, pretty cool. Got Edith Keeler down there. Got Spock there from Devil in the Dark. Doing some telecommunicating there with the Horta. That's pretty damn cool. And so yeah, and there's some more Playmates and some more Art Asylum as well. And then coming down to the last shelf, this dirty ass shelf in the dark there. I got the Defiant. I built that myself. It's a Star Trek Enterprise model kit. I went with the Defiant on that one. And there's some older Star Trek VHS down there. And then you've got the dirty JJ Prize down there as well, hanging out in the dark where it belongs. So yeah, pretty good looking shelf though, man. It could use some dusting. I apologize, guys. This one has been a little neglected, but still looking pretty damn good after all these years. And yeah, I especially like that one a lot. That's a nice shot right there. That's beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna frame that one. Pow. Awesome. So this pretty much takes care of this whole entire corner over here coming around, as you guys can see, just to give you guys a little bit of the lay of the land as far as how far we've gone. Sometimes you can get lost in just going shelf to shelf. You kind of miss the whole grand scheme of the layout. But anyway, we're going to be coming around here and going to be checking out some more cool shit. A little over halfway done with this tour, but we're moving at a nice clip, I think. Got some cool movie posters up there. Got an awesome Atari LED fake neon light there. Got an ET stuffy that I bought at a thrift store. I think that's actually from the 80s though. Pretty damn cool. Got my arcade 1-ups, both Final Fight and Space Invaders. Although I don't have Final Fight up on that one right now. I think that's 1943 or 1944, excuse me. But yeah, pretty damn cool. And we're just going to keep coming along here. And we're going to go look at some dinosaurs next. Let's look at some Jurassic World dinosaurs. So we got my weight bench right here because, you know, I'm so fucking ripped. And then we're going to come over here and take a look at some dinosaurs, like I said. I got my Jurassic World supersized dinosaurs right here. These things are pretty damn awesome. I think these are like 1/12 scale. Maybe like they'd be in scale with like a Marvel Legends or a Black Series figure. But anyway, I got my older Super Colossal T-Rex in there, looking very, very cool, with the Hammond Collection Raptors. And again, these are like 1/12 scale Raptors. So they're really cool. They're like the Raptors from the original Jurassic Park film. And then we have got the Super Colossal T-Rex that came out from the latest Jurassic World film, Jurassic World Rebirth. And he's a little more thrumpier, a little more thicker, and if you ask me, a little more awesomer, really. He's pretty damn awesome. I like how cool he is. I never actually did a formal review of this guy on the channel, but here he is in all his glory here with his much thinner and more stealthier predecessor. But yeah, still looking really pretty damn cool. There's Mothra way up there on the ceiling. And then coming down here, we got some more Jurassic Park love there. Yeah, looking pretty cool. Got the Apatosaurus kind of filling out this entire shelf here. And this was an old diorama I made back in the early days of this channel. Not a real good diorama by any stretch. Actually used to look a lot better than this, but yeah, whatever. You know, I used to actually have a working fountain up here and shit. If you go way down deep into my channel catalog, you might find that video. We got T-Rex there fighting it off with some Allosauruses. Scientifically that makes no freaking sense at all, but it still looks pretty cool, with a down Jurassic Park Jeep there, looking pretty rad. And then on the last shelf, coming all the way down here, we got Alan Grant there, fighting off some dinosaurs. He's getting his ass kicked, and we got some raptors stalking him from a cliff face there, and some other dinosaurs up there. Looks like there's some giant theropods there stalking him in the dark. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then Kylosaurus blocking their path. So yeah, that's just fun. That's fun shit. So yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, just kind of giving you guys one more view of all my dinosaurs as we kind of move back up. I know I went pretty fast there, but I don't know, man. I think they look pretty cool. There he is. I love that derpy Apatosaurus. Hello, good boy. Brrr. Yeah, he's cool. Moving away from those fleshy dinosaurs, let's look at some robotic dinosaurs. Yeah, these are my awesome third-party Gigapower Transformer Dino bots. They're third-party. They're big. They're real big as shit. I meant to get the whole set, and I was unable to. But yeah, man, we got the third-party Gigapower Swoop and the third-party Gigapower Grimlock there. And he's looking really badass. And then third-party Gigapower Sludge. So yeah, I love these. I meant to get the whole set, and I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to procure the Snarl or the Slag. I got these on re-releases, and I originally ordered them through TF Source. If you guys are familiar, TF Source is an online Transformers website, and TF Source, after 2 years, failed to actually get them in stock. And so I had to go through a whole rigmarole to get my money back with them, and I'll never do business with them again. This is my individual experience. I'm sure other experiences with that website have been better. So, but for what it's worth, that's my individual anecdotal experience. But yeah, I love these figs though. Again, I really wish I would have been able to complete the set, but they look really, really cool. And I have them on my own handmade little display stand there. So looking pretty damn awesome. Now moving around on this corner here, guys, I'm like sliding around on the floor here. So forgive the real commando style camera work. I got some really cool Fisher Price. Got a Fisher Price circus train in there if we can get by swoop. Yeah, look at that. Again, guys, I'm kind of just kind of squatting around on the floor here, so camera angles are not the best. But yeah, you guys can see that circus train. That is so cool. Had that as a kid, and bought it again as an adult at an antique store. So looking pretty cool. And right next to my Voltron shelf, my one and only Voltron shelf here, I got the original pilots there. Those I've had since I was in the 4th grade. Those particular pilots. We got Keith, Pidge, Lance, Hunk, and Prince Salura there. Yeah, I've had them since I was a kid. This is the who came out with this? I think this is Playmates. Anyway, I don't know. This is a Voltron, came out for I think the 30th anniversary back in like 2016, I want to say. And so he's pretty damn cool. Or 2014, I want to say. So yeah, he's pretty damn awesome. And then of course I've got the original villains there. Those are the original villains that came out from the 80s. Those are all mine from when I was a kid mostly. And yeah, looking cool. Got some legendary Voltron in there as well. So yeah, there's my Voltron. Looking cool.
Goodbye.
Up another individual small collection. We got some RoboCop in there, featuring my Hot Toys RoboCop. I bought him off eBay, I want to say, a number of years back. He's one of the older Hot Toys RoboCops, but he's still pretty damn awesome. He's got some die-cast metal and plastic, so he's a little bit of a mixed media figure, and very, very cool. And along with some NECA RoboCop offerings in there as well as that one RoboCop in the back there. I think that's Play Arts Kai, the one I'm centering on right now, but the rest of these are NECA. So yeah, really cool. Nice little ensemble of different RoboCops in this particular shelf, looking good. And then up here is sort of my Robert Zemeckis, Steven Spielberg shelf. We got my Back to the Future. This is all NECA, by the way. I got my Back to the Future shelf with Marty there and Doc, and then that DeLorean is actually a Diamond Select DeLorean with a Back to the Future lunch pail in the back there. And then we got some NECA Gremlins over here too. And of course, Gizmo. So yeah, pretty damn awesome. Alrighty, next shelf. This is a good shelf. I like this shelf a lot. This is my part of this beginning of my Godzilla collection, I should say. And this shelf has got just a nice hodgepodge of X Plus Godzilla, as well as some Bandai love in there as well, and a little bit of NECA. Yeah, these figures, I've, just a nice ensemble of Godzilla and some Godzilla villains there. I got that awesome Biolante there from Bandai, and then there's a NECA Godzilla versus Biolante figure in the box back there. And then I've got the from Godzilla -1, I've got this awesome cool Bandai Godzilla figure. And then there's some really cool larvae stage Mothra there. And then, of course, we've got the sludge monster back there himself, looking really, really cool. And then, of course, from X Plus, we have got Godzilla from Godzilla versus Biolante. That's like my premium Godzilla figure. And then, of course, I've got a really cool active volcano behind him. So really, really cool. Sort of my callback there to Godzilla versus Biolante when Godzilla reemerges from the volcano. Very, very, very cool. Alrighty, continuing up the Godzilla shelf there. These are mostly NECA Godzillas from various films from across the Godzilla universe. There's a Diamond Select Godzilla there in the back. That's actually like a piggy bank back there. And then, of course, I've got a cool classic Godzilla collectible lunch pail and thermos there. And yeah, looking pretty damn awesome. Just a nice ensemble of different various NECA Godzillas that I picked up over the years with the Tokyo skyline in the background there. And then come up here, as again, the same story. We're just going up into the rafters now. Again, various different Godzillas from different films. Mostly from NECA, although there is some Bandai mixed in here as well. So yeah, they are really, really damn cool. I'll give you just another quick shot of that shelf. Doing the best I can with the camera work. Again, I'm up on the shelf in the rafters, but yeah, looking cool. And peeking around the corner here, this is the crown jewel of my Godzilla collection. This is my Shogun Warriors Godzilla from 1978. Picked him up off eBay for a pretty good price. I think I paid over $300 for him, but he still has his fist and his tail. He's almost nearly complete. The trigger on his tongue flickering action is broken, but yeah, he's pretty much complete, and he's safely displayed in there in an old fish tank, in an old upright fish tank there, with a LED light that's kind of on the fritz there, but it kind of gives it sort of a cool chaos effect, if you ask me. But yeah, there is definitely the crown jewel, that Mattel 1978 Godzilla, looking awesome. All right, so as you guys can see, we're coming around the corner here. It's a little tight in here with my weight bench, so it's a little hard for me to film to get some good shots of all this stuff. We're coming around the corner here, and we're going to start on these shelves right here, and we're going to work our way from the bottom down, I think, or from the top down, I should say. And we're going to start out with the Monsterverse Godzilla up there from Jack's Pacific. That's not a real good shot of him, but yeah, he's pretty cool. Not my favorite version of Godzilla by any stretch. But he's still pretty cool, and he's just chilling up here. And he looks sort of decent with his much superior predecessor there, the Shogun Warriors Godzilla from 1978. Coming along here, we got a Jurassic World Albertosaurus with some adventure people chilling out in their van. I don't know, man. I think they think they're probably in mortal danger, and they might be right, with all these monsters hanging about. But yeah, pretty damn awesome. And then coming over here, got some awesome reproduction Go Lion diecast metal Voltron in there. I used to have him in robot mode, but now I just kind of have him in the lion mode, just chilling, which is pretty cool. And we got some G1 Insecticons in there, and then some various Transformer cheap-ass model kits. There's a Quintesson in there from Transformers 1. So yeah, pretty cool inside of this little tiny figure hubby here. And then coming down here, we're getting into my He-Man stuff and most of my high fantasy sort of genre thing. There's not everything in here is necessarily He-Man. Like I said, there are some other fantasy figures in here from other IPs. But we come along here, look, there's Orko in there. And then we got Skeletor sitting on top of that really cool snake thing. Man-at-Arms. There's a multiverse or whatever He-Man in there. Like we got Snout Spout looking cool. So yeah, looking really, really cool. There's Conan the Barbarian chilling with Tila. I think she'd have a thing for him, because Conan the Barbarian's fucking awesome. Beastman. We got Savage He-Man on top of a Stridor there. Looking pretty cool. Got He-Man on top of Battle Cat back there. Again, these are all various renditions of Masters of the Universe that Mattel has put out over the last couple years. All modern action figures in here. There's nothing too old. The only thing I think the oldest figures in here are these Conan figures. This one, and then his bad guy contemporary that came out with him. I can't remember what line they came out in, but I think they're actually a 90s line. Really, really cool. That's from Marvel, actually. But yeah, pretty damn cool. Yeah, look at those. That's really, really cool. Toy Biz. Yeah, this was a Toy Biz, I think. Yeah, anyway. So anyway, cool. Coming down to the next shelf, guys. We're trying to clip along here. And coming down to the next shelf, guys, this is purely Masters of the Universe area. I've got my 1/6 scale Fright Zone that I custom made. Looking pretty cool. That's all made out of hobby foam and just some lighting and a lot of paint and some, a toy puppet dinosaur that I tried to convert into like a serpent coming out of the hole there. And of course, there is my Mondo 1/6 scale He-Man, looking cool with a 1/6 scale skeleton back there, eerily lit from the bottom. And I got some twigs and shit from the outdoors to kind of try to make it into a makeshift jail sort of thing. And yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool looking Fright Zone, if I don't say so myself. Again, hand done by myself. I think I did a full video on it a couple years ago when I did this, but yeah, looking really, really, really cool. And then coming up beside that, again, in the 1/6 scale range, I got my Mondo Skeletor. Again, that's 1/6 scale, looking very, very, very cool. And then we got some animation love there with Prince Adam and Cringer and Tila chilling. And we got some more animation stylized figures from Mattel. And then coming over here, oh man, we got some really cool shit. We got Skeletor up here on his throne. Bought this from Big Bad Toy Store, and it's all lit up and shit. That's very, very cool. It runs on batteries, but it's really easy just to turn on, and it'll run for a little while. So that's really cool. So yeah, I like these a lot, man. That's a really, really cool Beast Man there, all done up. And I forget the line these guys come from, but again, very, very cool. Not a huge Master of the Universe aficionado by any stretch. Just something I like to pick up on the cheap mostly, except for these 1/6 scale figures. I paid a nice premium for those, but yeah, looking really, really cool. That's a really nice shelf. If you guys want to take that in just real fast, yeah, look how good that shelf looks. That is cool. Now coming down to the last shelf, this should round out the Masters of the Universe. We've got Snake Mountain in there, the reissue Snake Mountain that came out a couple years ago, as well as the reissue Castle Grayskull. Again, with a lot of the retro He-Man collection or Masters of the Universe collection figures mixed in here. Yeah, looking pretty damn awesome there. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to give you guys just a little bit of a tour of them. A lot of these figures I bought on deep discount for like $5. So, this isn't a line that I try to spend a lot of money on, but if I see them, I grab them. And, yeah, a lot of fun to collect. And that's just kind of the way to do it, man. If you see it on the cheap, no pressure to collect it all. No pressure to be a completist. Just get it when you see it. And, and if there's something you really want to get, you might pay full price for. But other than that, man, just get it all at deep discount and enjoy it. So, yeah, that's definitely the way I've rolled with this Masters of the Universe retro collection. But looking cool. From my Masters of the Universe shelf, we've got the last big shelves on this tour. We got my Transformers, my G1 Transformers down there. We got some Indiana Jones love, and then we've got my two really grail pieces in my Star Trek collection, my Tomy Enterprises, and some other premium figs in there as well that I just recently did a review on, or showcase, I should say, on the Tomy Refit Enterprise, and I also widely showed off the original series ship as well. So we're not going to spend a lot of time there, but yeah, we're just going to take a quick look at these shelves, and it kind of ends up there with some Brachiosauruses and some Jurassic World love, which I have my dinosaurs just kind of mixed in all over the place down here. So we'll end up all the way. All right, so on the floor here, I got a 40th anniversary Optimus Prime figure. I got to get out of the box. Picked him up about a year ago, but he's really awesome. And then all these Transformers in here is just a really nice mix of my childhood figures as well as reissues that I picked up over the years. All of these are from either Hasbro or Takara itself. And again, there's just a really nice mix of original G1 from the 80s in here, as well as reissues from the 2000s and beyond. Really, really nice shelf. I love this. I did a custom base for it. I'm not going to go into every single figure on here. I'm not going to name them off. You guys can pick out who you know in here. But again, very, very cool. Like I said, a lot of figures in here from my childhood, like that Galvatron, like the Scourge there, like this Triptychon. Original childhood figures. My Devastator, that's an original Devastator from my childhood. Looking really, really cool. I've got a reissue early Takara, or early mid 2000s Takara Starscream there, with an animation reissue from Hasbro Starscream right there. Again, very, very cool stuff. Got my Rodimus Prime right there from my childhood, and a reissue Rodimus Prime from the mid 2000s. You saw the box to him earlier in the tour. Got my Dinobots in there. Those are my original Dinobots from when I was a kid. Got the animation stylized Hot Rod in there. You guys saw his box earlier in the tour, as well as my childhood Hot Rod, which is in car mode down there. Again, very, very fun. Love these so much. This is what it's all about for Transformers for me. And so, yeah, I love this setup down here. They're kind of hidden in a way, but they look really good. For a while there, I didn't have room to display them, so I'm really glad to have them up and looking as cool as they do. All right, you guys, got my Indiana Jones shelf. It's a really small shelf, but it's still a fun shelf. These are mostly 1/12 scale Hasbro figures, although there is a really cool SH Figure Arts Indiana Jones there atop a premium. Can't remember the name. It's an import generic horse that I bought just to kind of give him that look from the Last Crusade there, I'm sorry, not from the Last Crusade, from Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he gets on the horse and tries to run down the Ark as the Nazis have it in their grasp. But yeah, really cool. Got Indiana Jones there and Short Round there from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I threw in a NECA mummy figure, Universal NECA mummy figure for fun. Not quite in scale, but I think it looks really fun. Yeah, and then of course I've got some awesome Hasbro Kenner / Hasbro reproduction Raiders of the Lost Ark figs in the background there as well. So anyway, this is my Indiana Jones shelf. It's pretty small, but it's pretty fun and it's pretty awesome, and I love it. And so looking really cool. And then coming up here, guys, we have got, I showed this off in my last video, but we have, not my last video, but a couple videos ago, we got my original series Enterprise there. The batteries on my nacelles are running a little low, so they're not really running real well. But yeah, I showed this off just a couple videos back. You guys saw these shelves looking very, very, very cool. My QMX Kirk and Spock there on the bridge of the original series Enterprise. And then coming up here, guys, I got my original series, not my original series, my motion picture Tomy Enterprise that, again, I did a full showcase on a couple of vids back, looking awesome as well. And then there is also my really, really cool Kirk and McCoy figures from Star Trek the Motion Picture in there as well. Those are 1/6. Pretty tight up here, but as you can see, we're up in the rafters once again, and we're kind of looking at some brachiosaurs. And we also got the Plastic Planet Express tooting along, as well as Thomas the Tank Engine. Again, you know, my children's childhood is sort of my nostalgia now by inheritance, so to speak, reverse inheritance maybe, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, check it out, man. This is pretty awesome up here. Yeah, so I got some brachiosaurs up here. You guys can also see we got some figs from Camp Cretaceous there. Yeah, and some more dinosaurs over here. But mostly the star of the show up here, as I mentioned, is of course my train set, my HO scale train set with Thomas the Tank Engine, Anna and Clarabelle and the milk truck coming through here, as well as the Plastic Planet Express, which is tooting along on the outside track as well. I got a little Joe Cool Snoopy light up LED light over there too. Yep, there they come again. Yep, they're going between who's winning the race. It's sort of close right now. My track's a little dirty, so they're kind of hiccuping in how they run. Usually they run a little smoother than this, but yeah, looking good. Alright guys, moving away from the Plastic Planet Express, Thomas the Tank Engine, my Tomy Enterprises, kind of coming into the last leg of the tour here. And we're kind of coming into Pac-Land and some other areas of the collection, very video game focused, retro video game focused in as far as the collectibles go. As you guys can see, I have my two arcade 1-ups down here. I got my original Generation 1 arcade 1-up Pac-Man machine with the customized lit up marquee there, and then I've got Super Pac-Man there as well. And then coming up to the top here, guys, I got my Pac-Man shelf here. There's lots of cool looking Ghost Gobbler shit. from Bandai and Funko and a couple other companies. Got a nice, cool vintage lunchbox back there from the early 80s. My wife got me that. Got some cool light up LED Pac-Man and Pac-Man Ghost back there, as well as some mini Cades, keychains and whatnot. Got this cool Bandai Pac-Man Ghost Gobbler there, and then got more of the animated version of Pac-Man there. That's also from Bandai. There's a Funko Blinky there, I think. Or Pinky, that's Pinky. Pinky's actually from Miss Pac-Man. But yeah, and then coming up here, guys, I got some of my old ass Transformers. There's some old ass masterpieces. Let's see if I can get up there and get you guys a better shot. So please excuse all the cords and shit up here. But yeah, there's my original Takara masterpiece, Optimus Prime and Megatron, looking cool. Got my VHS Transformers TV shows from my childhood there, put out from FHE, which is really cool, family home entertainment. Got the Iron Giant back there, picked him up a number of years back, maybe 2019, 2018, somewhere in there. He's cool. And so yeah, taking a look at these shells from up here, looking really nice. Again, I love me some Pac-Man, and yeah, pretty awesome. Let's see if we can catch the Plastic Planet Express or Tom's coming around again. From this angle, there they go. Coming back down there, I got a cool Pac-Man plushie. I got at Five Below. There's Copabot back there, the official mascot of Ryan's Plastic Planet. Hello, Copabot, what's up?
Fuck off.
Yeah, fuck you too. Fuck you too. But anyway, yeah, I got an old vintage gas station Coca-Cola sign there, backlit with some LED lights. Got the original, not the original, but I got a print of the artwork from the 2600 Pac-Man game release. Speaking of the 2600 Pac-Man game release, I've got one in box still with the shrink wrap on it. Pretty cool. This is sort of my Pac-Man Atari shelf there. Looking really damn awesome. Got a vintage wind-up Pac-Man machine there, or Pac-Man toy there from Tomy. A lot of Tomy love in here. Coming down on this shelf, we got a little shelf here. These are all where I keep all my gaming cartridges. Like I said, I got all my Atari 2600s up there, and then I got all my Nintendos and Super Nintendos down here with some cool Nintendo love in here as well. Got Diddy and Donkey Kong, Mario. There's Link back there in the back, and then one more shelf down here. We got a light up pixelized Super Mario Brothers Mario. Got a Bowser down there, and then we got from the Super Mario Brothers movie from whenever that came out a couple years ago. Got Mario in there, and then of course a Donkey Kong cool pixelated little statue thing. So that's rad. Coming around the corner here, we are almost done, man. I got Wile E. Coyote and the Pink Panther there. It's from the 1970s. Really large sized plushies with wiring in the limbs so you can kind of pose them. Those are really cool. I remember those when I was a kid. Found those both at an ARC store a couple years apart, so I was glad to find them. Got my Pound Puppy. That's my original Pound Puppy from when I was a kid. His name is Coco. He's my one and only puppy love. It's fucking awesome. I got a big TV here that I really got to get rid of. It's an old LCD. It's heavy as shit. That thing is a fucking toddler killer. I got to get it out of here, to be honest. Right here I got my Mego reproduction Superman and Lois. Got a T-800 Terminator figure there from NECA. I've got my old school television set right there, which is looking pretty damn cool, playing Super Mario Kong, or I'm sorry, Donkey Kong Classics there, off my original Nintendo, looking cool. Got Bowser up there. Got Asshole Fish in the back, picture of Asshole Fish, rest in peace. If you know him, you know him. He was a long-time mascot on this channel until he unfortunately met his demise. Love Asshole Fish, rest in peace, buddy. I got a Spider-Man in there. It's like, I don't have a lot of Marvel in this collection, but there's a Spider-Man, and she's also Marvel. I can't remember where she came from, but I found her figure for $4. It's a Marvel Legends figure, so I picked it up. As well as Shazam, aka Captain Marvel. They're looking cool. And then coming down here, I got there's an Atari 7800 in there. It actually does work. A picture frame, my kid doing marching band. Pretty cool. Got Captain Marvel Shazam back there from DC Direct. Over here, I've got my Nintendos from when I was a kid. There's my Super Nintendo. There's my regular Nintendo from when I was a kid. And I did buy this retcon gaming system because my old Nintendo wasn't working real well. So it still worked, but it wasn't working reliably. So I did pick up a replacement, modern replacement to run my old NES games. Still cool. Coming down to the next shelf, guys. We're almost done. We're just getting done. We're just coasting through here. I got a really cool, and excuse the cords and everything. Got a really cool Kermit the Frog, old vintage telephone. Got a University of Wyoming mini helmet there. That's my alma mater. Got some Got some dinosaurs there. Got a nice picture of my wife when she was much younger. Got a picture of me with my kids when they were much younger, as well as my wife when my second born was born. Over here we got Garfield sleeping on a pizza. Got a third-party Johnny 5. Really cool. And it's dusty and kind of cobwebby down here, so apologize. I got some Funko Love down there, some jumbo-sized Funko Love with He-Man and Skeletor. Got a Tomy robot over here hanging out in the dark, and some other goodies as well. So we're not going to spend a lot of time over there. Oh, I got Kermit the Frog as a reporter with Grover and the Jakks Pacific, R2-D2, and C-3PO there as well. Alrighty guys, so that is that corner. Coming over here, this is my computer desk. This is where I do a lot of my editing. Excuse my fingers in the shot. I'm getting tired and a little zapped at this point, but we're gonna finish up here. We're gonna finish up strong. Got Rocky and Bullwinkle. Recently picked those up. Those are from the 80s. Found the Rocky at a thrift store, and then found the Bullwinkle. Found the Bullwinkle at a thrift store, and then of course I had to pick up the Rocky online. Found the Rocky for about 17 bucks. Got the Bullwinkle for $5. That was a song. And then over here, yes, I've been asked before, how can you be a Gen X collector and not have any G.I. Joes? Well, I do have G.I. Joes. These are my 2 G.I. Joes. I have no idea what their names are. I know they're both Cobras, and I've had them since I was a kid. I don't know how I acquired them. I think someone gave them to me, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Do you ever have those random stray toys in your toy bins from when you were a kid, and you have no idea how they got there? Well, that was these. Again, I'm not a big G.I. Joe guy. No disrespect. I love G.I. Joe, but never was anything I wanted to collect and still don't want to collect. But I definitely understand the appeal. So anyway, there's my G.I. Joes. There's my 2 G.I. Joe figures in my collection. Got a giant jumbo-ass Megatron over here. Forget what line he comes from, but he is really, really cool. Got a awesome, cool light bright. I was going to light it up, but I would knock shit over, so I'm not going to do that. Got my blood pressure monitor here, because, you know, when you're over 50, you got to check that, guys. That sucks. And then, of course, I've got a nice danger sign, because there's dinosaurs up here. Yeah, this is like my Hammond. These are like my favorite Jurassic World, Jurassic Park dinosaurs, man. Most of these are Hammonds. Some of them aren't, but most of them are Hammonds. Got my Dreadnoughticus right there. Yeah, he has really, really cool Dreadnoughticus. And then Stegosaurus in there. That's a Hammond collection. Stegosaurus, Hammond collection. T-Rex, Hammond collection. Allosaurus. Then we've got a regular Diplodocus. So yeah, this is a really cool little shelf there, and some other prehistoric goodies on there as well. And then we got my boring ass work desk. So we don't want to talk about that. So anyway, guys, that's the tour. We did it. Wait a minute, how can I forget my Fugler? How can I forget my Fugler? I love my fucking Fugler if you watch my last video. And then, of course, how can I forget my 1/1 scale? Oscar the Grouch in a vintage 1970s trash can. That is a 1/1 scale. Oscar the Grouch chilling by my hot water heater. Yeah, he is he's really cool.